Hey guys, this is Vicki with Southern Crosser Creations, the cutest outdoor Christmas craft for y'all tonight. These are cooling racks from the Dollar General. You're going to need 6 of these. You're going to need a pack of zip ties, a pack of white Christmas lights, and this decorative mesh. And then this ribbon is also from Walmart. So Walmart for the mesh, the ribbon, the lights, and then the Dollar General for the zip ties and the cooking racks. Now what I did right there, these cooking racks have like little feet or little ridges on them, so make sure you start with those little feet down. You're going to zip tie all of the corners together, and I'm going to speed up the video here so you'll exactly see what I'm doing, but you just zip tie all of the corners together. So we're basically creating a box. Now the only ones that face those little ridges, the only ones that face down or out, I should say, is the bottom rack. The rest of those little ridges are going to face inside. So just make sure that once you decide on your color scheme now if you were going to do, say, green mesh or something like that, then you could go ahead and use green Christmas lights. But I knew I was using this red and white. I just think that is such a really pretty statement outside. And so my decor is just red and white and green, obviously just traditional. And so I went with white lights so that they would hide within my mesh. So kind of keep that in mind when you're building your boxes. So basically you're just going to put all your your two bottom sides, top and bottom, zip tie those all together. Now the side is a little bit trickier because they're not square. So basically what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to zip tie these together, and then what you're gonna need a really good set of cutters. And so it's not hard, it's just just make sure you have a good set so you can kind of cut right through those. So make sure they're sharp. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and cut all of your excess above your box, because you will have a piece on both sides that are that won't be uniformed, obviously, and so you'll just have to cut those off. So the next step that I wanted to do is just zip tie my lights. Now this is not necessary. You could just basically just put them in there. But if you're going to store these and take them in and out and use these year after year, it's better to zip tie them, and I'll also show you a reason why as well. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that all of the lights stay within the box. So you don't want any lights poking out, because we're going to wrap this box just as if we would a Christmas present with the mesh. And so basically what I did is I just did lines on my, within. There's really not a rhyme or reason of how I did it. Just make sure that you're zip tying those as you go. And once you cut, fold your zip tie where you've cut it back inside the box. So now I just did the sides, and now I'm going across the top. And again, just make sure that your lights stay within the box and they're not poking out. And if they are, just kind of push them back through there, because it will make it a lot more easier to wrap with those, inside. You can see that one is trying to come out right there, and I have to go back and push those back in once I go to start wrapping the mesh around my wire. Now, my idea for this is I had found some wooden crates. They were kind of crates that pumpkins came in, like you can get from the grocery store, different places, farmer's market. But those are not readily available. So I was trying to find a way, and I actually love these so much better. They're so much prettier and more uniform than the crates are. And I feel like these will just last longer. These can get wet. These can, they'll dry easily with this mesh. And I just think that you can use these for many years. So the next thing I did is I just unrolled my roll of mesh. And then I'm basically just wrapping this as a present. Now, like I said, those lights that are poking out right there, I had to go back and put those within the box because you can't wrap them obviously with it. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to zip tie everything. Of course, these are going to be out in the weather with wind, rain, all the things. I live in Tennessee, and we can have, a rainstorm one day, snow the next, and, a blizzard the next day. But our weather just changes every single day, it feels like. So if you live in an area that's not as windy, or your weather doesn't change often, then you wouldn't have to use so many zip ties. I just want these to last, and for me to use them year after year. And so I really wanted to get this all secure and in place. But you can kind of use your judgment on that. Now also, I had actually checked Lowe's and different home decor places, and these like outdoor stuff for your yard and your porches, it's so expensive. So by the time we get this done, we will have probably around $20 into this, y'all. And you cannot buy any outdoor, most of your things like this. I did see a presents kind of set at Lowe's, and they were about $120. So yeah, we're going to make these a lot cheaper, and it just comes out so super pretty. So what I did there is I folded my mesh. Do not cut this mesh. It does have a edge on it, so if you do cut it, it just starts fraying. So don't cut it. Just whatever you do, just kind of fold your mesh onto your box and just use your zip ties. So the next step that I'm doing is I'm just creating a bow. Now this bow is actually, I got at Walmart as well. One side has got the glitter on it. The other side is, flat. I would suggest, if you're going to make these to go outside, make sure that you get ribbon that does have the mesh and it doesn't have a lot of material on it. Again, these are going to get wet. They're going to get snowed on, or wherever you live. Whatever your weather is, they're going to be outside, and you want something that's going to dry super, super quick. So try not to use anything that's, material-wise. Now, this ribbon I actually found in the gift wrapping section at Walmart. So, I'm sure other places have it. That's just kind of where I found it. Now, the bow that you seen me make, because it's glitter on one side and flat on the other, I had to twist it behind each time, and as you've seen me do that. So this next little step is, I always like to use the same type for the ribbon, for the center, and this is obviously a little bit thicker ribbon, so I just folded it twice and then just got it nice and snug around my ribbon there. Around my bow. Now the next step I wanted to do is kind of like you do presents. I wanted the ribbon to come up each side of my box, and that's what I did. I just folded it, kind of came up just as you see there. Just repeat the same step on the next, around the longer end there. It doesn't really matter which way you start. So what I did is I just went around the present there, and I just loved how that little curl kind of fell right there. And y'all, I'm telling you, I was trying so hard to keep this in camera vision, so because the present was so big. So if you do have questions, please feel free to ask me. I wanted that ribbon to be curly a little bit, so I took one of my paints and just rolled the ribbon around the paint, and it kind of gave it that extra little curl right there. And then you're going to need to zip tie your ribbon onto your present as well, because you want everything pretty snug once you get it all together. And look how pretty this came out, y'all. It's so, so pretty. It just, the lights and the illumination of it. And I didn't take it outside because it is nighttime here. But I will, take it out on my porch. You'll probably see another picture of this at some point. But how pretty would these be all hooked together? I hope you enjoyed this. If you have questions, just message me. And for more, you can visit southerncrossroadcreations.com. Thanks, guys.